Hey guys, Andy here. I had a request recently to do a what's on my phone video, so I thought, I guess I can do that. I don't really know much about these what's on my. I don't really watch the what's on my phone videos. I did see Marcus Brownlee do one recently, so I watched that to kind of get an idea of what you do and the format of them. Well, yeah, easy enough. I guess I can do that. I'll move quite quickly because there's a lot of different sort of widgets and apps and things to get through. So probably a lot of them I've done app reviews already. If not, drop a question in the comments down below and I'll let you know what I can. I think the other interesting, as Marcus said actually, my phone doesn't change a lot. It really doesn't. I reckon if you looked at my phone 3 years ago, a lot of the apps that I use every day, a lot of the widgets that I use, the layout that I have, it really hasn't changed much. A few of the apps that have changed have actually been, I'm using apps that I've written myself. I'll point them out as we get to them. But yeah, it doesn't. So I'll do this one. I probably will need to do one for another few years, to be honest. So yeah, let's crack on and have a look at my device. So we start off with the launcher. It's Nova Launcher. I think a lot of people will know Nova Launcher. I won't go into much detail, but one of the main reason I use it over sort of Google or any others, it allows me to have a widget in the dock bar. And I'll show you that now, I suppose. So this here is actually a widget. That's not actually working at the moment, so it's supposed to be contextually aware, and it's supposed to know that I'm at home and show me my home apps. At the moment it's showing me my gym apps, because I have been to the gym this morning, but I've been home about an hour and a half, so I'm not quite sure why it's not updated. Normally it's very good, so it's a bad example today, because I don't think this has ever really happened where it stayed wrong for this long. While we're here though, there are some of my, I guess you could call them everyday apps, although I don't go to the gym every day. So JFit, definitely my favourite gym app. I've been using it for years and years and years. Just great for logging your different exercises. It lets you superset exercises, flipping between one and the other, and that kind of thing. So that's JFit, and then I think I have to tap like 3 times to get out of the app. Jabra Sport to go with my Jabra earphones. I do use Google Fit as well. Play Music, I'm a subscriber. I use Play Music, and Swarm, that used to be Foursquare, and then they split them. And I just like that I can check into places. Right, so this thinks I'm still at Pure Gym as well, in fact. I think my mum likes to follow that as well, see where I am. Anyway, moving on. On the desktop, I get asked a lot about my calendar widget, and it is literally just called calendar widget. So if I think I should have it open up. There we go. Calendar widget by +1 Labs. There you go, that's calendar widget. I do like that. I do use Google Calendar a lot. Helps me sort of keep track of my life. I've got about 3 or 4 different calendars in total, if not more actually, with my rota, my personal one, obviously use a work one, just all sorts of things. One of my favourite apps I've been using for years and years and years and years as well is TV show Favs. So we can see here, this is my to-do list. I think we can go over to the sort of schedule. So this shows me what TV shows are going to be on the different dates. I'm not so bothered about that because they just, I'll watch. I would much rather just work my way through my to-do list. When a new episode is aired of something, it appears on my to-do list. Some things obviously you go through, they come all at once. Fine. So you can see that Altered Carbon, I've watched, what was that, 7 of 10, so I'm 70% of the way through. Big Bang Theory, 245 and 246, 99% of the way through. Can you see that? And when you've watched the show, you just tap on the tick on that, or you can go to the show by tapping on it. And you get some information in there. You can see the different episode list and all that sort of thing. If you go into the app itself, it's quite handy because you're sort of popular today, and it's good for sort of finding shows you might not have heard much about. So TV show Favs, definitely a favourite of mine. Let's go back the other way. Another favourite I've been using for years and years and years, BeyondPod. People often ask, what's the best podcast player? And I'll always tell them it's BeyondPod. Just for me, because of the smart playlist. So you put your different podcasts into different categories. Oh no, there's the AA UK podcast. Check me out. So you categorize them, and then what's the easiest way for me to find the smart playlist? No, there we go. Edit. And then, so you can set up a smart playlist. So the first thing to play is the latest 1 episode from Short News. So that's generally going to be BBC News, 1 minute update. And then play the latest 2 episodes of the category sports. So because they're sports, that's sort of time sensitive, if that makes sense. So I want to hear them first. Then the latest 3 episodes from This Week in Tech MP3. It's normally only going to be 1 episode. I don't know why I've actually got the latest 3. then the latest one from Brain Stuff, then the latest one from, so you can just, there you go, so I've got all the way down to entertainment and things. So then you say, oh, it can be a little tricky getting the little button inside. Start default smart play, and there you go with the BBC Minute. And if we come back here, you can see that is the smart playlist. So love Beyond Pod, very good. Google Play Music widget, Drive, get me directions home button. Family members have shared location, so they I have those buttons there, so I can just see where they are. Then over on this side, I have kind of my developers folder. I don't use it a lot, if I'm honest, but it's just there if I want to check things. Then I've got my drone folder. Again, it's just the DJI app and a drone zone app, which is quite clever. Shows you where you can and can't fly. I mean, DJI knows that as well, but it lets you check in advance if you're going somewhere. You can check that you're able to fly it. This is my tracking the car and bike folder. This is Dately. I basically was doing a review of this. I just kind of got it on the screen at the moment so I can check on it quite quickly. And this is one of my own apps, One Day Weather. It will always just show you tonight and tomorrow morning. So actually, sorry, overnight, tonight and tomorrow morning. For me, and then I set to have notifications at 9:15. I just like to know in the morning if I'm going to use the motorbike or not, or if I'm going to drive. I don't know why. I could wait till the morning, just look out the window, but I'm just that weird guy that likes to sort of plan in advance of what I'm going to do. So that's my own app in the Play Store. Let's move over one more. This is just Google Now cards. Don't actually use it very much, if I'm honest, these days. As Marquez said, it's weird because you can't swipe things away. I think you can tap and then say hide this story. It just seems a little odd. They've made it a little long-winded, basically. And as Marquez moaned about, is the Google Keep. They unlinked, so it renamed at one point Google Assistant Shopping List, because that's where Google Assistant used to put when you said add bacon to my shopping list. That's where it would go. Now they've put it on this weird web-based thing. I just don't know why they would have done that. So that's that's all of my desktops, or home screens, I should say. If we look at the dot, now games, honestly, I've not played games on my phone for, I don't know, I just don't play games on my phone. I kind of, no, why would I? Tiny little screen, not that easy to use. Yeah, just doesn't appeal to me. Media, so again, most of these I don't use. Netflix I use quite a bit. Google Photos I use quite a bit, and obviously YouTube I use a reasonable amount. Cache, Amazon, so this is kind of anything sort of shopping-y or cash-based. E-wallet I love. It stores all of my credit card details and things. It's encrypted. It uses the fingerprint sensor. It's literally just details. It doesn't let me pay for anything. It just means that I can, if I'm buying something online, I'm going to go and find my wallet. I can check my details in there. Blockfolio gives me my, well, Blockfolio and Coinbase are crypto. I have got some Bitcoins now, and that's how I can kind of keep up to date with what they're worth. If we move over to tools, what do I use most in here? LastPass, I use LastPass quite a bit. In fact, that's a bit of an essential for me. When I've reinstalled things, that's one of the first things to go back on, because that would log into all the apps for me on my phone. So I do like that. I've got Nest and Ring, because we've got cameras in the house. We've got the Nest thermostat. We've got the Ring video doorbell. I don't use File Explorer much, but my favourite weather app is, oh, what's it actually called? Inline Weather? Line Weather? Do you know, I can't, where's it going to tell me? Let's have a look. Is there an about? No, do you know what? I should have checked that before, shouldn't I, really? I'm sure it's called like Inline Weather or Line. Search for Line and Weather and I'm sure you'll find it. Tools. There's not, I mean, I also use Google Maps. I don't really use Dropbox and OneDrive that much. I do back things up to OneDrive from time to time. Social, I'm not a big Facebook fan. I have got it installed, but I don't really use it. Now, Flamingo is my Twitter app of choice, which, as I say, was the same as Marcos Brownlee. It's just a nicely presented app, basically. It's, whoa. So yeah, just a nice Twitter. I don't use Twitter a lot, to be honest. My sort of time-killing app is Instagram. I've even got if this then that to set when I post it on Instagram, it tweets it as well for me. I know a lot of the kids are into Snapchat. I've got it installed. I hardly ever open it, if I'm honest. I hardly ever snap myself. I do have Google Messages, Hangouts, and WhatsApp, because again, personally, I like Hangouts, but a lot of people use WhatsApp, so you kind of have to use that. Let's have a look at some of my favorites, and this is where some of my own apps come into play. So AutoBuddy, for example, is my own app. Oh, it tells me the service is due. I think it probably is actually as well. But that's not right. It's not in January. I'm sure it was in March. That's me. I need to update that myself properly. So I use this mainly for, be it logging maintenance, and actually probably my car's more interesting maintenance-wise. All the different things I've done to the car get logged there, and you can sort of, there's various different bits of information are stored there. Discard. And also for logging fuel, you get kind of miles per gallon updates each time you fill up. But then I love stats, so I've got things like, so my last 12-month figures, miles done 3,700. Oopsie daisy. Average miles per gallon 9.5. Cost per month is very expensive at the moment because I've just spent a lot on the service, new tyres, and all kind of expensive things. We also have annual reports, which I quite like, quite interesting. Show me how many miles I've done, and all these different statistics. And we also have, if I get that, parts log. So when you log, and oh yeah, I forgot, I've done something wrong because it's logging negative miles on the tyres I put on 2 weeks ago. So I think somewhere I've logged the wrong amount of miles. I need to look at which one I did. But it told me the brake pads were done less than 1,000 miles ago, which they were. New battery 7,000 miles ago, and it gives me the date. Can you see all that? Coolant, I'm sure I have changed, well, not me, but I'm sure my mechanics changed the coolant. Actually, I think it did it at the service, so I should log that. The air filter, such. So I like that it, you get all that kind of, all the stats. Anyway, that's AutoBuddy, free in the Play Store. I think it's free, yeah. Google. Actually, I don't use Google. I'll defend Google Plus because I like it. It's not full of trash like I think a lot of Facebook is, but at the same time, I don't use it a lot, if I'm honest. IMDb used for reference point. So MeFit, have I got it on me? I use that to connect into my, can you see that? It's a bit dark. To connect into, I have to tape it in because this case isn't actually for the MeFit 2, it's for the 1, and the 2 is a bit bigger. So I tape it in place, otherwise it falls out. But I mainly use that for tracking my sleep, if I'm honest. It's quite interesting just to see your deep sleep and all of that kind of stuff. Netflix, obviously, I use daily actually, but again, it's normally voice operated now through my Google Homes rather than through the app. NFL, play music. So regular reminders is my other own app that I use pretty much daily. I just got a terrible memory, and I've kind of a terrible concept of time. So, how long ago was it I rang my mum? I think I rang her only a couple of days ago, and actually I rang her 2 weeks ago. So I use this to remind me, and I check my finances and all these sort of things. I choose to remind me to do things. It's not on set dates, it's just at a certain regularity. So if you want something doing every 5 days, it will just prompt you 5 days after the last time you did it, not on a certain 5-day period. So if you're late one time, it's going to be 3 days later. No, every time it's going to be 5 days later. Trello is mainly for work use, but I want to tell you, actually, I do use it for app development. I've got different boards. Let's have a look. So I've got different lists for different apps with like things that I need to do on them. Bloody hell, actually, my AutoBuddy that we were just looking at, there's a lot on that one. Trello, very handy. Great if you're using it across groups of people. So like I say, we use it at work quite a lot. And there we go. So I think that's everything. And I have waffled on quite a long time, which I was trying not to. So let me know if you have any questions down below. But hopefully that's been interesting. For now, my name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon. You made it all the way to the end. Well done. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do subscribe by clicking the little fella over on this side of the screen. You might also want to check out the other videos. Should be just there. Check out my website as well, androidandy.uk, made by me. I'm learning HTML and PHP, so hopefully it's functional. But I'll see you again in the next video.